OpenEuro's LLM is Europe's $52 million bet on challenging the US and China in AI. Anthropic tells applicants not to use AI. Over 40% of Facebook's long-form posts are now likely AI-generated, according to a study. And DeepSeek's supposed censorship-free AI model is sparking some debate. Welcome to #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. A new coalition backed by the European Commission and referred to as OpenEuro LLM is rallying more than 20 key players, from public institutions to private firms, to build an open-source large language model. Armed with a €52 million budget, about 57 million US dollars, and even larger, a separate compute commitment, the project hopes to compete head-on with US titans like OpenAI, Google, and Meta. Bringing together research labs, companies, and universities under one umbrella, the alliance aims to preserve Europe's linguistic and cultural diversity, promising that smaller languages and dialects won't be left behind. It's a bold play for AI independence, one that could refine how European organizations develop and deploy advanced AI systems. Now, this isn't about creating a general-purpose chatbot. It's about building the digital and AI infrastructure that enables European companies to innovate with AI. At least that's according to Peter Sarlin. Peter was the co-founder of Silo AI, Europe's largest private AI lab, which was acquired last year. What's unique about this initiative is what we're bringing together many of Europe's leading AI organizations in one focused effort, rather than having many small, fragmented projects. Still, building a top-tier open-source model requires more than ambition. It's going to demand huge data sets and computing power, raising questions around how well-funded and coordinated Europe's plan will be. Enthusiasm is high among small companies and research groups as they seek alternatives to costly or restrictive services from US-based providers. If OpenEuro LLM succeeds, it could unlock new possibilities for startups, academic teams, and public sector projects across the continent. By lowering the cost and complexity of developing advanced AI applications, the initiative may spur a wave of innovation that's genuinely inclusive of Europe's diverse linguistic and cultural landscape, and potentially reshaping the global AI arena in the process. I have one message for the Government of Canada. Are you listening? Anthropic, the company behind one of the world's most advanced AI writing assistants, is telling prospective hires not to use AI when applying. It's an ironic twist for an organization that built Claude, a tool famous for excelling at precisely this kind of task. And yet Anthropic's job listings require applicants to promise they'll craft their responses without AI help. The company goes on to say, "While we encourage people to use AI systems during their role to help them work faster and more effectively, please do not use AI assistants during the application process," reads the prompt in nearly 150 of Anthropic's active job postings. "We want to understand your personal interest in Anthropic without mediation through an AI system, and we also want to evaluate your non-AI assisted communication skills. Please indicate yes if you have read and agree." The question appears in a wide range of roles, from software engineer to finance, communications, and sales, though it's missing from a few technical listings like mobile product designer. Its presence was spotted by an open-source developer, Simon Wilson, who highlighted the tension at play. Anthropic is effectively trying to solve a problem it helped create. As more and more candidates rely on AI for drafting everything from cover letters to personal statements, potentially in response to the fact that human resources has been using AI to filter applications for some time. A recent study by Originality.ai analyzed 8,885 Facebook posts collected over the past 6 years and found that 41.18% of today's long-form content on the platform is likely AI-generated. Now, this reflects a sharp increase from an average of about 5.34% in 2022, ballooning to 24% between 2023 and November 2024, an increase of almost 5 times since the launch of ChatGPT. Now, according to the data, these AI-generated updates are most commonly found in longer posts, a category where people often share personal stories, detailed product reviews, or in-depth analysis. And while some of the posts are obvious, some of them are even starting with, as a large language model, some can't be caught by AI detectors. While these detectors are getting better, they're not flawless. Sophisticated models can produce text nearly indistinguishable from human writing, meaning the true percentage of AI-driven content might be even higher. Still, the close to 9,000 post sample size provides a strong snapshot of an emerging trend. More users are outsourcing parts or all of their posting to AI tools. But with Meta itself confessing that it's used fake profiles and AI-generated posts, there certainly will be no appetite for Facebook and Instagram to curtail the growth of these AI-generated posts. And having read some of the posts I know that are written by humans, I'm not so sure I don't prefer the ones written by AI. The blog Prompt Foo reports that they've identified 1,156 prompts that are censored by the new AI DeepSeek. And as most will know, DeepSeek R1 is a blockbuster open source model that is now the top of the US App Store. But as a Chinese company, DeepSeek is beholden to the Chinese Communist Party policies, and most of the topics it censors are related to sensitive issues like the shootings in Tiananmen Square or other unflattering facts about the Chinese government. The good news is that, according to this same post, DeepSeek is preposterously easy to jailbreak, the term used for being able to fool an AI to bypass its instructions on what not to do or say. The blog post notes that it seems that DeepSeek has done the minimum it had to do in its internal censorship and shows how easy it is to find and bypass this internal censorship. In fact, we did another story earlier this week showing how one security company, Wallarm, was able to jailbreak DeepSeek and obtain its main system prompt. So what the model censors may not be the biggest problem. What the model doesn't have guardrails for is what has critics worrying. There are already a number of credible reports, including reports coming from CrowdStrike, that shows that malicious actors are using DeepSeek to spread disinformation, generate hateful content, and even help devise and execute malware, ransomware, phishing, and other attacks. So DeepSeek perfectly embodies the ongoing debate over how much freedom AI tools should grant. While some champion no restrictions on free speech, others point out the real dangers of unregulated AI. And companies should have some legitimate worries, particularly if they're using this model for customer-facing activities. We've all heard the horror stories of AI models going out of control and spewing hate or inappropriate responses. These are things to watch for. But to be totally fair, all of the major models have had or may still have similar flaws. And while guardrails can be implemented, there will always be ways to get around them. If none of our classic coding structures are impenetrable, why should we expect AI to be perfect immediately? It's only through testing, time, and experience that we'll be able to find the right balance. But the great thing about open source is that, as Prompt Foo pointed out, you have access to the code, the model, and the weightings, and you can have an open debate about what should and shouldn't be censored. Transparency and openness can be a wonderful thing. And that's our show for today. You can reach me with tips, comments, and even some constructive criticism at editorial@technewsday.ca, or find me on LinkedIn. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave a comment right after you do a like and subscribe. Hint, hint. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a wonderful Wednesday.